If I look a mess, it's because I feel a mess. Over a week ago now, it's been like 10 days, I woke up at like 6 a.m. super early just on my own and couldn't move because I was so dizzy. Like, if I even moved just a little bit, the entire room was spinning, I was spinning, I felt like I was going to throw up because I was so dizzy, and it just would not end. It wouldn't stop. I was just so constantly dizzy that entire morning. It was like a 10 out of 10 dizziness. I haven't been that dizzy since like way back when I was at my absolute worst. And so anytime that sort of thing happens where you are like suddenly feeling as bad as your very worst, it's scary because you're like, I don't ever want to go back in that direction ever again. And so I just like stayed in bed all day, and I was like, it'll wear off, you know. It was horrible. It was a 10 out of 10 basically that whole day. The next day it was a little bit better, but I was still just feeling awful. And here it is, like 10 days later, and I'm still really dizzy. I managed to shower, because, as you guys know, sometimes just taking a simple shower is like the hardest thing. But I was able to do that today. But honestly, for the past 10 days, I have just been laying down all day long because just sitting up makes me feel really dizzy. Getting up and walking around makes me really dizzy. And I don't really know what the cause of it was. So every month for a week I deal with increased dizziness around my period. That's just one of the things that goes on. But this dizziness started before my menses. So I don't think that my menses was the actual cause of the dizziness, but it definitely didn't help the dizziness get over with in a timely manner. So a couple days into this dizziness, I then started my menses. My menses ended, and I'm not any less dizzy, so I don't really know. I think that's part of it, but I don't think that's all of it. We've also had, right now it's sunny and clear, but for the past couple of days it's been kind of like overcast, and I guess, I don't know, I haven't gone outside at all, but just from looking out my window, it's been overcast. And so my mom thinks that sometimes the weather pressure affects my dizziness. It hasn't in several years, or not several, but a couple of years. So I don't know if maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. But the bottom line is I have been absolutely miserable for the past like 10 days. I say 10 days, but I think it's actually only been 8 days. Sorry, my cognition is bad and brain fog is bad, but I've just felt really awful. And yesterday I was supposed to have a dentist appointment, and of course I had to cancel that and reschedule, and I always feel like I feel like I'm letting people down when I miss out on appointments and stuff, because like I don't know how I'm gonna feel until it's that day, and so I end up canceling the day of, and I know that like that's not good. But thankfully I go to a pretty good dentist who has known me since I was a kid, so they're pretty accommodating for me. I have a doctor's appointment next week to see my doctor. I made it before this dizziness even happened. It was just to have a check-in, because I feel like prior to this I had just kind of plateaued in my recovery. So I decided to make an appointment to just check in and see if we should change anything. I also want to get a food allergies test, because I'm having a lot of issues with my intestines and stuff, and I don't know, I just am wondering if maybe I'm eating foods I shouldn't be, even though I hardly eat anything ever. I'm sorry I dropped the ball on May. I don't know why I did. My anxiety has just been so bad, and getting motivation to do anything has been really hard. But then I got hit with this dizziness, and June has just been terrible. It's been really awful. And it started out great because the first 2 days of June I felt really good. And then like the third day I just woke up and everything was terrible. Because when you're dizzy, you're also really nauseous. Like I feel like I feel car sick, you know, like all the time. No matter what I do. And that's really frustrating. So I'm just giving an update. This is another bump in the road for my recovery, and I wanted to document it. No matter how awful I look, I'm really trying not to look at myself too much. Because it doesn't matter really how you look. All that matters is how you feel. And I feel terrible. So that's it. I hope you guys are doing well. I feel like I have to go back and watch my, like, 5 tips to help nausea or whatever, because I've just been feeling terrible. And dizzy. And that's the thing about dizziness, is there's nothing really you can do to help dizziness. Unless it's from something specific, like dehydration, then you can drink water and Gatorade to get your electrolytes up, and that'll help your dizziness. But if it's just out of nowhere, it's like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know. So anyways, if anything comes out of my next doctor's appointment, I'll let you guys know. Until then, you probably won't hear from me until I start feeling better. Hope you guys are doing well. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!